Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Well, it's March, and if you live in the United States, you are likely coming up to the end of your homeschooling year, or even if you homeschool year round, you are likely coming up to the end of this homeschooling year. And it is about this time that a lot of us really seem to struggle, which is why I felt that it was important to come out with another video about this. Today we're going to talk about signs of homeschool burnout. Homeschool burnout is one of those conversations that I think that we don't have often enough in the homeschooling community, at least not with newer homeschoolers. And that can really be detrimental if you think about it. How many homeschooling families who didn't realize that homeschool burnout was possible have out of desperation sent their kids back to school because they were feeling like they had just reached the end of their rope and couldn't do it anymore? This happened to me. That's why I'm so passionate about talking about these things with people, because we need to get this out there. This happens to a lot of people. And today I wanted to share with you what some signs are so that you know that it's happening. So the first sign, I won't even list them chronologically, because you might get one of these signs, you might get all of these signs. So I will just say the number one sign that I'm going to talk about is that you are experiencing a lot of anger and a lack of patience. And I get it. As a homeschooling mom, I know that we all get angry at times. I know that we all lack patience at times. But it really comes to a whole different level when you are experiencing homeschooling burnout. It just gets to the point where it seems that every little thing grates on your nerves. You seem like you are overly sensitive to everything, and it is showing. It is showing in the way in your relationship with your kids. It is showing in how you react to them when they don't understand something, or maybe when they aren't paying attention the way that you would like them to. That is a really big sign, is that you are experiencing a lot of anger and impatience. So number two is dreading the day. If you are, at first, every beginning of the homeschooling year, I'm always so excited and I can't wait to get up and start about our day. And I'm writing our lessons on the board and I'm getting everything planned out. And, you start out homeschooling as a brand new homeschooler the same way a lot of times. I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of times that's how we start out. And for me, at least, I know that it does start over time. It kind of wanes a little bit, a little more and more and more each day. But when you are experiencing homeschooling burnout, you actually dread getting out of bed and getting up and knowing what you have in store for you, what the lessons are that you're going to be doing. You just don't even feel like doing anything. You have absolutely zero motivation to teach your kids for that day, or to present their lessons, or really to get into anything other than just kind of laying there on the couch covered up with a blanket. I've had those days, and I'm telling you that is a sign of homeschool burnout. And I have to say that these are also, I noticed that a lot of these signs are also the same signs of depression. So it's weird. They might even be linked together. But yeah, this is also a sign of homeschool burnout. So number three is a lack of enthusiasm about the curriculum or your what activities you have. So maybe you're not completely dreading the day. Maybe you're not afraid to even roll out of bed, but you might be feeling really bored with the curriculum and you can't even muster any enthusiasm to even show your kids to get them excited about doing things. And it just gets to the point where even with lesson planning, you're just blah. When you are planning things out and you don't feel the excitement that you once did. And this is another thing where I have to say that there are going to be times like that where you might not be experiencing homeschool burnout, but it's just because the curriculum is no longer new to you. It's kind of old hat, and it might be working and it might be doing well in your homeschool, but you might not feel that initial excitement that you had. And this is different than that. This is where you just don't even want to engage with the curriculum or with those activities anymore. And so the last one is just complete mental and physical exhaustion. exhaustion. And this is actually really linked to just dreading the day and not wanting to get up and do anything. You actually feel like you have an information overload. You are just tired. You're drained. You don't want to think about anything too hard. You don't want to get up and just go about doing the daily things that you do, even if it has to do with your morning preparation, maybe not even homeschooling related, but you might be so tired that you don't even want to get dressed, or you might be so tired that you don't even want to make that coffee that you usually make in the morning. And again, I really feel the need to point out to you that yes, a lot of these symptoms can also fall in the line of depression. And as someone who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, which is basically depression when it's cold outside or in the cold winter months, yes. But again, these are symptoms that are for people that are linked to their homeschooling. So I made several videos about how to counteract homeschool burnout because it's not something that you want to ignore. When I ignored it, I actually can't even say that I ignored it. I didn't know about it. So what ended up with me was I sent my kids back to school for 2 years because I had been trying to homeschool too rigidly. I didn't really have any sort of mentorship or anyone telling me how to go about homeschooling. And so I kind of think that I did it all wrong. And I say that a lot because I really tried to be a teacher in a school and not, just a mom with my kids. But anyway, yeah, that did result in me sending my kids back to school for 2 years. And it is something that I regret to this day. But the one thing that I can take out of it is that I can help others to not go that route. So again, that's why it's so important that if you are experiencing these signs, you need to do something about it. Don't ignore it. It's not going to go away if you just keep trying to push yourself and push yourself and push yourself without giving yourself grace. So again, I made several other videos about homeschool burnout, and I did talk about ways to overcome it or ways to deal with homeschooling when you don't typically want to do your normal routine. So I'm not going to get too much into that today, but I will give you some suggestions. The rest of the homeschool burnout videos, I'll link in the description box if you'd like to watch them. But yeah, you need to do something. So one of the ways that you can do this is, just do something different. Watch a movie. Go to the park, go to the mall, go to the zoo. Just get out of the house. And I cannot emphasize to you enough how important getting sunlight is, fresh air, vitamin D. I think that especially now with everything that's been going on, and it's been really cold here, a lot of us have been completely lacking in vitamin D, and that can really exacerbate the symptoms of not only homeschool burnout, but depression. So yes, get outside and get some vitamin D. Do something different. There is education to be found in everything. Another thing that you can do other than doing something different is just take a break. A day, a few days, a week, it's completely up to you. And it's really, it really depends on how far you've gone in your burnout and how much time you actually need. But it is okay for you to do these things. That's why I really love doing year-round homeschooling and starting our homeschool year in July, because that really does give me a lot of cushion so that if I need to take time off, I can. So I'm actually going to link some videos about year-round homeschooling in the description box as well, because yes, that does give you so much leeway when it comes to taking time when you need it. And another, the last way that I'm going to talk to you that might be able to help you with homeschool burnout is just consider changing your curriculum or maybe even your homeschooling method. Now, you don't want to change your curriculum every single time that you start to get bored with it. But if it gets to the point where you literally cannot stand it anymore and it is not helping your children and it is just causing friction, it's time to change, and it's okay to change homeschooling curriculum. There are no curriculum police that are going to knock at your door because you ditched a curriculum and started a new one. Same goes with homeschooling method. You might have started out your homeschool with one homeschooling method that really worked for your children and for you, but over time, people changed. Your kids might have changed, you might have changed, and you might find that what once worked for your family is no longer working. And that is another thing that I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you permission. Give yourself permission. Change homeschooling methods if what you're doing is not working for you. But again, the most important thing is if you are experiencing homeschool burnout, recognize it and do something about it. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one here or over on Instagram or on my YouTube community page. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.